videos about how he was recording himself in the 90s on the VHS. So basically, it's going to take time. You're going to be pretty damn at it at first. Don't give up if you get a little frustrated. The other one is that there will be technical problems. No matter how perfect your setup, no matter how good your connection is, no matter how good your everything, computers like to dick with people.
Technology sucks.
As a general rule of thumb, I never change anything about my setup until I'm done with the series. So like, I'm not like just skipping updates because there's a problem I can't figure out because I updated any one thing.
Yeah, that's generally what I do too, depending on this game. Like I recently did a very long RPG and I had to change the console settings for a few things once, but generally keep it the same. Also,
I think of one thing better.
If you get frustrated at a technical problem, step away for a little bit and then come back. I remember, well, starting out very early, I was recording Sonic Adventure 2 for the channel. I know the game so well, I did it all in one sitting. Credits are rolling. Oh look, the video capture software froze. It has been corrupted. Sigh, restart the software, do it again.
You'd be surprised how often that happens to everyone.
We had an instance last August where we weren't recording for about half an hour. Actually, I may divert this and make this about us right now, but there was one time, the first time we tried recording Mario Kart 2, we had the worst day ever. Like, we spent like 8 hours just trying to get the recording started because we were missing equipment and we were like far from home. It took us 8 hours to get everything we needed. We finally got everything we needed. We were all like dead tired. We had to walk like 2 miles because we couldn't get like a cab to take so we needed to go or any of that. So tired. We sit down to record. We've been playing for like 40 minutes. We were like halfway through the board. I looked down and we weren't recording the whole time.
Oh no!
Yes, that's something I learned very early on. Before you do anything in a game, make sure your software is recording. You don't want to go through a 3-hour session realizing you forgot to push the button.
The worst thing is like when you're recording, you feel like your commentary is really on and you're really, really happy with how it's turning out and everything, and you don't often think that if you're at work, but you're like really, really into what you're doing right now, and then you see that you weren't recording that whole time and you can't replicate it.
Oh, you can never replicate anything.
No.
That's why I give. That's why they give master props to like professional actors and stuff, because that's basically what they do.
So worse is when you do record, because your video does not want to convert properly.
That too.
That's happened to me.
Yes.
I repeat, technology sucks.
And kind of the final point is kind of just in general online problems. I know you can read it, so he's laughing. You're going to get people who don't like your work.
Really? Oh, really? Not on the internet!
Wow, I think everyone's heard of this one before.
But the internet is so pure.
More so, I've seen a lot of people crash and burn in online stuff by having one person harass them by 1 or 2 people picking on them or whatever. When you get a certain size, or even if you just start doing anything in general, you'll get some people who don't like you or aren't a fan of your work. And that's something you're going to have to learn to kind of just distance yourself from, kind of just ignore and kind of shrug off, because ultimately, the longer you do it, the better you get, the more people you're going to get who do like your work. So there are going to be those people who don't like it, who do stupid things on the comments or whatever. You're just going to have to shrug it off, maybe, just if they keep doing it, block them. Drama happens. It's something you're just going to have to learn to deal with if you do this for long enough.
Don't feel alone at all. Everybody gets it. We get it. He gets it. Everybody does. So it's not like you're singled out and you're just like the one person people are picking on. It happens to everyone.
Yeah.
So if criticism could kill, Dark Side Phil would have been dead long ago.
I don't even get that. Oh no, he didn't! And now we finally bring him up.
The Henry got space right behind.
Just use fire.
So
Music doesn't just cleanse the game with fire.
on that note, it's also important to be able to separate hate from criticism. A lot of people that are criticizing you are trying to help you. They might not sound like it, they might not have the best tone or word choice in the world, but a lot of the time they really are trying to help you, and it's important to know when that is and to try to see their side of things. If you don't, you aren't going to grow as quickly as a commentator or an editor or anything like that. Because a lot of the time, people are trying to help you even if you don't realize it. That they might be, not as very straightforward with it. A lot of people don't know how to work those kinds of things, but it is an important thing to know how to differentiate.
Well, that's true with life in general.
Yes.
Some other things to keep in mind. When you're starting out, this is something I've both unfortunately done a little bit of as well as received. Don't kind of harass or pester other people who do LPs. Not so much because we don't care, it's just that when you get to a certain size, we'll get 3, 4, 5 messages a day. Hey, can you be part of my commentary if I'm just starting out? Or, hey, how can I be a guest in this thing? Or, it's not that we don't care, we love all of our fans, it's just that sometimes we get way too much volume of stuff, so we can't really respond to every single one. However, we do want to help everyone out as we possibly can, so if you pop in on the live stream, or if we're doing a Q&A, feel free to actually ask questions, hang out, do all that stuff.
Also doesn't help that YouTube inboxes are super bugged nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. You can't even find him anymore.
My YouTube inbox doesn't even work anymore. It's the saddest thing though because I can't have an auto response go to everyone saying hey, my thing doesn't work anymore. Because I actually can't reply to messages or add anybody as a friend. Nothing. I just read Twitter now because YouTube inbox doesn't even work for me anymore.
I can get to mine, but I have to physically type in the URL address or it won't take me there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Google has broken it.
The other is let your relationships that you get during this form naturally. Go back and look at the early brain trap stuff. We were awkward as hell together.
F-Zero!
That too.
Sonic 06?
But eventually we became basically the best of friends, and now we work off each other really well. So basically, don't try and force anything. If you're doing it with a group or if you're just doing a multiplayer thing with your friends for your channel, don't try and force you're the best of friends. If you don't know someone, it's gonna be a little bit awkward, and that happens, and people understand that. So, and you're also gonna get friends from doing Let's Plays. I know I certainly have. I've met a lot of friends. I mean, just look at Ted. He's a good friend of mine, and I met him initially through my videos on my channel. So you're gonna meet friends, but let that grow naturally. Don't try and just be friends with everyone. Because then you're gonna wind up with a friends list on Skype of about 300.
You met me through Let's Playing, right?
Yes, I did.
You sounded way too hurt about that.
Kind of the last thing I would recommend is do something else occasionally than just straight LPs. I know Brain Scratch, we do rip tracks of movies now and again. I know John does a lot of live streaming. You don't want to just be stuck doing the one thing. Do something else every once in a while that kind of just exudes some steam or just do something for your own sanity. Do anything.
He doesn't do anything else.
Well, no, he does Runaway Guys, which is just kind of a separate multiplayer thing. I'll count that. That too.
He goes outside. He just said no, by the way, he doesn't.
I've considered doing other things from time to time though.
Wait, how did you get here and go outside?
I live in a mobile home and they drove me here. I had a tunnel. Like,
This guy got
No, that's the general kind of tips I can offer. So since we're about halfway through, I was thinking we could open it up to questions. There is a audience mic right over there, so I'm not sure how they want to do it, but preferably to form an orderly single file line.
Please do not kill anyone in the process of lining up. We are not cleaning up the blood.
and we are not liable.
Oh boy!
Democracy!
Any more takers?
Yes, we are. Hail the big good apostle.
Out of all the things you've ever done, is there anything that you ever wanted to go back to, or did you just kind of say, what's wrong?
Could you speak into the mic a little more, please?
Out of all the things you've ever done, was there any specific project that you guys wanted to go back to, or did you just kind of finish it and say, no, I don't want to go back?
Every single one.
Yeah, that's generally the answer. There's always something we think of after the fact that we could have done better. Or, oh, I should have done this.
Yeah, but you can apply that to later things as well.
Really, if you're the kind of person who's driven to keep doing creative things, you will always think, oh man, the last thing I did sucks. I gotta do the next thing better. And then you keep progressively doing that because you are improving. So as a result, the last thing you did feels like it sucks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird cycle of getting better by thinking you're actually getting worse.
Yeah. It's why a lot of us don't stop.
We can't.
Okay. All right. Assuming that like my Let's Play channel once I did was to be big, how would you guys recommend like responding to fans?
That entirely depends on kind of what they're doing. Generally, I try to be as respectful as possible. I try to respond. You don't have to respond to every comment in your video, obviously, but try to be at least somewhat active. Don't just post a video and then ignore all the comments completely or ignore all your PMs. You get busy, we all have lives. We have work, we have families, we have other things to do. So once you get to that point, you'll understand that we do have things going on, but at least try and stay mildly active, whether it be through Twitter, through a Facebook page, or whatever. Just try to be active. That's one of the key things.
Some interaction is better than nothing at all.
Yeah. Even if you can't do everything, even if you can't read every last little thing, do what you can because it is healthy, both for you and for the viewers. Because it feels good to know that the person you watch, you actually mean something to them. And the other thing is the fact that you'll grow more as a Let's Player or just anything really if you read feedback of any kind.
All right, now a little side question. Because I mentioned it, somebody please write the Let's Play Bible. I'm seriously wanting that. Somebody.
Jesus is right there. Holy.
It gets worse.
Let's Players I follow each have a different style, like one regard one where your take was on live commentary or post-edited commentary.
That you will eventually kind of figure out on your phone. Live is more for the talker of the group, at least as far as I've found. There are some differences. There are some people who do a lot of very, very, very informative stuff on their own, while personally they may not be the most talkative. Post is more for the comedic kind of script, the people who are good at scripting things. At least that's what I've discovered, although obviously Brain Scratch, we're very unscripted when we talk and we're post-commentary, but that's more so good to have 4 people who live in completely different states.
Honestly, what you'll find is that the best people who do commentary are the ones you can't tell which one they're doing. A lot of people will do one and then just do other. Like, I've had a bunch of episodes that have gone crazy and I've had to just do post-commentary. He's done, pretty much everyone at this table has actually, and no one notices the difference.
Yeah, I've had a couple of videos where like I lost the commentary track, but like I had already played further in the game and I stole the gameplay footage and I'd saved over it, so I couldn't go back and redo it. And the couple times that's happened, nobody noticed I was post-commentating. Like, sorry. Tim's off in his own little world.
No, I'm off for a couple.
Okay. But yeah, your mileage may vary on it, whether you like live or post. It really depends on the person. It also can depend on the type of game, really. If it's like a really high precision thing with a lot going on, maybe post would be better.
Or if it's like a very slow kind of turn-based RPG where you're going to want to speed things up more, maybe post would be better.
As for the channels themselves, like whether or not which one's better in the sense of how much enjoyment you get, doesn't really matter. It's personal taste.
Yeah.
So one doesn't cancel out the other.
Yeah.